Rome was the most important capital in medieval Europe. It was a city which ruled over majority of Europe and administered parts of Western Asia and North Africa. At its geographical zenith, the Roman Empire extended from what is currently northern Saudi Arabia to the Iberian Peninsula, and the city of Rome was the empire's capital. The city was the financial and cultural hub of Europe for a very long time. Rome was also very important for the Catholics and still remains till this day because we all know who resides there. The Vatican may be a country, but it still is in Rome. And if you are a tourist, pilgrim, or a devotee who wants to go to the Vatican, you will still have to take the flight to Rome. Rome today is the capital of the country, which is the 4th largest economy in Europe and the 8th largest economy in the world. So far, we have established that Rome was important and still is important today. Then why do we have the title for this episode, 5 Reasons Why Rome is Not as Important Today? Would you move to Rome? Well, Rome today in the modern world when it comes to world politics is almost never in the conversation. And if we go around asking people and experts what are the most important cities in the world, they almost always come up with names like London, New York, Paris, Berlin, Tokyo, and even Delhi and Beijing, but never Rome. Also, we rarely come across people who would like to move to Rome to do business or for a job or even to study. And why is all that, when Rome used to be so important back in the day? One of the best ways to understand the importance of a city on the world stage is by knowing how good is it for the people from around the world to immigrate to. And that is exactly what we are going to discuss in this episode. Hello my dear darling people, my name is Sanatan Pagare and thanks for tuning into Bright Myth. And here are the 5 reasons why Rome is not as important today. Number 5. Lack of opportunities. Nowadays, people choose to move abroad mainly either for higher education, good quality of life, good job opportunities, to do business, or for medical facilities that may not be readily available in their own countries. But when it comes to Rome, there just aren't many incentives for foreigners to move in. The city receives a tremendous amount of tourists every year, but those people aren't there to stay. When it comes to education, the best university in Rome, Sapienza University, it is ranked 93rd in the world according to QS World University Rankings 2020. And a significant amount of courses in this university aren't provided in English for foreign students, who also have to pay a higher fees than the locals. And when it comes to job opportunities, Rome is always never in the top 10 cities for good job opportunities or to do business in. Healthcare is where Italy as a whole has done exceptionally well. But moving abroad for healthcare only comes into play when you're sick. So why would someone want to move in to Rome when they can get a better quality education, better quality of life, and good job opportunities in cities like Toronto, Berlin, or London? Number 4. People's safety. When someone wants to move into a city, they take their and their family's safety very seriously. And Rome is not the safest city to move into. It is never amongst the top 20 cities in the world when it comes to people's safety, whereas cities like London, New York, and Chicago are. Looting and theft are widely prevalent in Rome, and the city has one of the highest rates of gang-related crimes in Europe. Rome is fundamentally much more dangerous than London or New York, all of which makes Rome seem like a rather bleak place to live. Number 3. Language barrier. As much as we like hearing Italian because how good it sounds to our ears, Italian is just not a world language like English, French, and Spanish. It is only spoken in Italy and a number of small neighboring states. English, which is the language of business worldwide, is just not as widely spoken in Rome, which makes it very hard for an immigrant to integrate into the Roman society. Even multinational companies don't prefer establishing their headquarters in Rome because they'd rather open offices in cities where English is widely spoken. Rome just isn't preferred by investors because of the language barrier it presents, unlike Bangalore or Dublin, which have recently emerged as the preferred locations for receiving foreign direct investments. Number 2. Economy. In the last decade, the Italian economy hasn't really grown, a trend which has been observed in majority of the developed countries around the world. But what has worked for cities like London and New York is that even in times of low economic growth, they were able to provide good environment for business and were home to some of the best universities in the world. But Rome failed to do the same. The GDP per capita of an average citizen of Rome was around $35,000 in 2017, which is significantly lower than London and New York. Rome also doesn't have something like the City of London, which is a part of London which was especially designed to attract more businesses to move into the city and operates almost autonomously from the rest of the country. Rome is just not home to enough rich people like London, New York, or Tokyo who can provide the city the momentum it needs. Rome also doesn't have any programs to attract businesses like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The city just isn't home to corporations that influence life worldwide like Apple, Google, or Unilever. Now, before we reveal the number one reason why Rome is not as important anymore, if you have liked the episode so far, make sure to like the episode, share the episode, hit the subscribe button for the upcoming content, click on the bell icon, and feel free to comment down below. This episode is also available on all the podcasting platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. And their links are down in the description box. So if you could just use the link and follow us over there, it would really help us a lot. And with that said, without any further ado, number 1, multiculturalism. London and New York are the two most vibrant cities where the world is truly represented, as they have adopted the liberal perspective of multiculturalism and respect for other cultures. When countries like the US and the UK were taking in immigrants from around the world during the 60s and the 70s, the politicians in Rome took the other route and chose to keep their borders closed for foreigners. The influx of immigrants in cities like London and New York helped them to grow into the cosmopolitan metros they are today, with the headquarters of some of the biggest companies in the world, whereas in Rome it still feels very homogeneous, with very small communities of foreigners living in the city. Rome is a city which needs immigrants to keep the economy going. But because of the challenges the immigrants face in assimilating with the society in Rome, the city is just not a magnet for the people around the world. In this episode, we discuss why Rome is not as important today looking through the spectacles of an immigrant, and how good Rome is for foreigners to settle in. But we did not go into the political aspects of it, and we did not discuss how influential Rome really is, because we've already got it planned for a future episode. Now before we go away, we'd just like to clear this up that whatever we discuss in this episode are strictly our views and the reasons we could come up with via research. Also, the objective of this episode was not to hurt any sentiments. We know that Rome is a very important place in the world even today. And for me personally, it is one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful place on the face of this planet. The objective of this episode was to come up with the reasons why Rome, which was the cultural and financial hub of Europe for so long, isn't as important a center of culture today. But feel free to discuss what you think of Rome, whether it is just as important as it used to be or not, in the comment section, and feel free to share your views and opinions on Rome. And with that said, see you next time. Bye.